language education policy in Colombia. Then, Miss Paula, do you want to make a small introduction about your topic, about this topic?
Okay, good. The introduction about this topic is this how discussing the throne. This panel are linked to the analysis of education public politics in accordance with the text education politics policy of the teaching of English language and second language. Before compared students in Colombia, Costa Rica, Mexico, and Uruguay where from in 1991 it was sought to implement a multi-language nation, and this object was remained static since then, making education and Colombian one of the main eyes for which are found there, so that the government can solve the great evolutionary gaps that exist in the education sector, which are necessary in order for the educator to be able to carry out his teaching work fully. But this was taking into account of evaluating the teaching process where according to evidence to a way of transmitting information 13 years ago is the same as today, where the role of the teacher is to be behind a desk quantitative access their student and the effort of the teacher to set his student obtain the best result is a minimal and is carried to all of necessary economic and no invocation. Where according to Mendoza, 2014, the Mendoza 2014, 63% the teacher demonstrates a basic level in English proficiency. Okay, next continue. Oscar.
Okay. Okay, the foreign language policy of the Colombian government promotes the language as main aim of economic and professional growth. However, the development of different regions in Colombia require more than learning English as a foreign language. There are several communities that need to keep on communicating constantly, recognizing the multiculturality of each region and the possibilities of them portraying in foreign countries. Besides, the language is a humanistic and holistic tool to recognize the needs, the experience, and culture of others. That's it. Then this is a small introduction about the topic. Now, we're going to start with our specific purpose. In this case, let's start with Ms. Paula. What is the specific purpose of your speech?
Okay, the purpose of this intervention is to create in the future teacher and awareness of food education through the concept, example, and statistical data that support to quality of education offered by teacher along with a little content and in order to support a suitable education for years and the first moment. And you?
Okay. My specific purpose is analyze the background policy in foreign education to know which laws were effective and which ones weren't using the timeline. Is making a timeline about the progress of second language acquisition in Colombia and some public policy about this topic.
Okay. We continue with the thesis. For me, we are working of the feedback in the teaching of the English language. And you, Oscar?
Okay, my thesis is the acquisition of a second language must be focused not only in English, Instead of this, in several languages, including native languages, according to the community of influence.
Okay, that's interesting. Next continue is
The first statement. Okay.
yes, continue with
Okay. Then there is a leading question that I made in my first statement that says, do you think the poor outcomes or the poor results that we have obtained in the foreign language acquisition is because of foreign language policy in Colombia?
okay.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think okay. I see that in Colombia it's very important our education, in special in others. With the bilingual has been a very important historical phenomenon. The history is that in the 1994, with the National Minister of Education state as an objective the acquisition of the element of conversation and read it in the foreign language. From my personal opinion, the men thought display which language were going to be worked for some to generate confusion and to generate quality and in knowledge. What is your opinion?
Okay. Okay, but I think the language policy in language learning, in second language learning, has influenced by the economic policy expansion in the region. Since open markets, open trading with other countries like Europe and United States, generating Colombia this second language acquisition policy, and that is the reason, the focus of the government to implement this policy here, but it's not well designed. But in the same way, it's not well designed for people and for the needs of people here in Colombia. Paula, are you here?
Oscar, I think that in the most case it become a business. The people in this moment now think in the other. If in your can gain only is money and more money. I think that the object can and must are different.
Okay. Okay. Now, please tell me a little bit about your statement. What are your main statement?
Okay. For me, is it was not possible to implement multilingual due to the lack of focus on the objects. What do you think about this?
That it's impossible to implement multilingual education?
Yes, in the pre-time, in the 1994, with the first ruler or reglement about that it.
Okay. I think maybe at the moment it's really difficult to implement multilingual education. But I think that is a need for all communities because there are a lot of communities that live far away and they don't need English as a second language because maybe the influence of them are traditional languages as traditional indigenous languages. They need to communicate with other communities and maybe the second language acquisition of this community, it could be some traditional language to trading, to keep on trading. And I think that is a really important uh, fact that the government needs to think about and to develop as leaders. And maybe it's not possible now, but I think that we need a plan um, that continues step by step until we get the multilingual learning and the multilingual education. But obviously, at the moment, it's important to implement this. But it's a project that we need to take in several years according to the needs of each community.
Okay, that's interesting this, Oscar. Okay, for me, I can see of the main Minister of Education status as an objective of the education are very difficult for the all people can studying or learning the multilinguals. It's very difficult that the one population have these of the different more and all the story and the evolution and grammatic and language is an object that this plan and is very disorganized. The interest of the part of government is evident, which says the capital and will that multilinguals produce in a country. They translate into language capital for each. I think that is war growth. It's not individual, one people not. It's the all people every in all moment is a boy of the all people with teacher, governments and other recourse that we can phrase for the best of education. And this is the problem. Okay.
Okay, maybe you're right. In the aim to teach multilingual have different challenges here in Colombia, but maybe we can use some social capital that we have. For example, we have some communities that that need that have the knowledge about this language and they can offer the or help or collaborate with this purpose. And maybe it could be more efficiently because in the same way we are recognizing the multicultural. When we learn languages, we learn about the culture of the community and we can understand a lot of things like values, customs, and many other things that are really useful instead. Um, it is other things, and maybe there are a lot of things that are necessary in environmental challenge that we have. And maybe these communities have a lot of knowledge about this, and when people start to share knowledge from one and another, they can make a better job, a better coexistence, and For that reason, I think that it's not only multilingual education is not only language to improve as a community.
Okay, this really and this true. Yes, your opinion is valid. I share your opinion. I think that is true.
Okay, maybe you want to share a lot of another statement.
Yes. I think that the English level requests by the government are not interventions to the teacher improved. Okay, for me, I consider that the formulation and goals for bilingual policies national must be based on the empiric study that alone decision making with some reflection to school interests and implement programs bilingual at the school that begin bilingual is to modify their politics.
And economic inequalities. But the real outcome is that it makes invisible the autotune languages and is not linked with the native language in the development on education for social context. This empowerment the Colombian culture. The focus can kill the diversity and the suggestion is to promote a bilingualism plan or multilingualism which can allow the developing of our country from the own culture. Now, Paula, it's your
Okay,
turn. Please tell me about your
okay.
conclusion.
The education is in a crisis regarding the teaching of the English language transcends the first decision and the erroneous emphasis of declaring of the multilingual nation without expressing short and alert the objects. Without encountering the teaching capacity and ability with the IFID and without having the basic records and approach to follow. After of time, their search of tools. It is saying how a different teaching methods based on a goal knowledge contributed to fulfill the object in order to advance in the field international and intercultural communication.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Paula, for your contribution and see you next time. It was a pleasure to share this panel with you.
Okay, thank you, the same. Okay, goodbye. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.